Good evening, St. Mark's families and parents. It is so good to see your faces, even virtually. Thank you so much for joining on a Friday at 5:30. I appreciate that. We are recording this meeting, so for those who can't watch or if you have to leave, it will be posted. We're going to try to get it posted tonight. The new family orientation we did last night is going up on the website, and we'll try to get this one up tonight as well. But I really, really want to thank you and express how excited I am that starting on Monday, we'll get to see your children. I have missed them greatly, and I would love to start the evening. It is 5:30. People can join as they need. I'd love to go over the agenda. We'll start, like we do all things, in prayer. Then we'll have a summary of the reopening plan. I rolled this out in a virtual town meeting recently, but I want to summarize that. Go over procedures and protocols as returning families. You'll notice there are some changes, and then answer some questions. Last night, I had an unexpected surprise. You know, we've been, it seems like, breathing, living, sleeping the pandemic and the constant changes and guidelines and those things. And we're going to go over some normal school protocols and procedures. And it was really exciting last night to really start talking about school and having our kids back and having learning begin. So I'm excited to go over that and answer questions. If you have a question, go ahead and put that in the chat. I'll stop periodically throughout the presentation to answer as many as I can. So let's begin. Let's begin with a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in a meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of our amazing community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that will affect our students, staff, faculty, families, and our community. Continue to remind us that all that we do here, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth and the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. So let's start. I want to do a summary of what our phased-in approach is going to look like. We just finished week 0. The teachers returned on Wednesday for an in-service, and they have been phenomenal, very flexible, and really working well together to create a plan for this phased opening and the start of the school year. It was great to work with them for the past 3 days. We reviewed and practiced protocols. We had a first aid and CPR training. And again, just really spent most of the time planning what our orientation is going to look like and this phased-in approach. So on Monday, our orientation week starts, and we have small groups of students coming in for a half-day orientation from 8 a.m. to noon. I want to mention that the program we use, the Peak Fast, for scheduling, that program doesn't allow us to block out 4 hours of time, so there was some confusion. It's only 20 minutes long or 5 minutes long. It is from 8 to noon. We won't do a early 7:30 drop off.
I still can't hear anything.
Oops, I can hear somebody. Let me make sure that.
I can hear you just fine.
I hear you just fine.
Oh, good.
Sometimes you have to get out and go back again to get audio.
All right. So yes, if we are all on mute, then we won't have feedback. And like I said, I'll try to get to your questions as we go. Whoops. let me go back there. So we have small groups coming in starting on Monday. Parents, you have signed up for those days. We will get to meet our teachers, go over safety protocols with the students, routines and procedures again, receive any assigned materials and Chromebooks if needed. So I want to address the Chromebooks for just a second. Last quarter, I've got somebody who's not on mute. I might try to find that person and help them.
I think it's the person listed as Ava.
Okay, there we go. Thanks. All right.
I think you have somebody waiting. No.
Nope,
Oh,
nobody's waiting.
Question. So. Sorry.
Sorry about that. So I wanted to talk about the Chromebooks. Last quarter, we loaned out about 50 Chromebooks to those families who did not have access to a computer, or they maybe had multiple children in the home and needed an extra one. We are a one-to-one device from kindergarten through 8th grade. We were lucky to order them in time because they are a hot commodity. We have 300 of them. And I am not wanting to have them travel back and forth every day with the kids. I'm worried that if they get broken, I won't be able to order a replacement. So we'd like the Chromebooks to stay at school. If we're in a situation where, you know, it's your B-Day and they're going to be doing some remote learning, or if we have to close for a period of time, if you need a Chromebook, we will definitely send those home with you. If you have a device they can use at home, we would appreciate that. So again, we can mitigate the risk of having them broke and not be able to replace them. Going on to week 2, the A-B schedule begins. Each family has been assigned that day, those days, either Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Fridays, we're going to use that for some online learning and for check-in. So it'll be a half a day, parent check-ins. We want to stay connected. That's one of our big goals, is to keep not just the students engaged in learning, but our families as well, and make sure your questions are being answered and you're engaged in the learning as well. So that's that week 2. We'll have instruction for half of the student body, and the other half of the students will be working on assignments that are posted in the Google Classroom. We're going to start our specials. Our specials teachers will come around and introduce themselves. We will start our lunch program. Lunch will be delivered in the classrooms, and our homework club will start. So if you're on the A days, we will have lunch available on those days, and homework club available for the A students, and then vice versa on the B days. Again, that check-in with parents, make sure everything's going okay. How can we help? What are those needs? Week 3, this is where the online, it'll be 4 days of instruction. So in-class instruction for half the student body, the other half logging into their live sessions. We are tentatively going to plan our first mass on this week here, and what mass is going to look like. I've had a lot of questions about that. The church can actually hold about 250 people, 6 feet apart, which is almost our whole student population. We're going to do a phased approach to that. To spread that many students around is not probably the best as far as supervision and spreading the teachers out that far. So what our masses are going to look like is just a small percentage of our students going over to mass, and the rest of the students here at school. It'll be live streamed into the classroom. We also have an opportunity to live stream that to about 60 kids in our auditorium. And then deacons and Eucharistic ministers will be here at the school to administer communion at that time. So that's the tentative date. And I say tentative because we definitely want to phase in coming back to Mass, but we're going to be collecting a lot of data on how this plan, this phased in schedule works from week 1 starting Monday and through week 2, and we will just have to adjust as needed. And then that week 4, we'll have all of our students on campus for in-person learning. Very excited about that. I'm excited about the phased in approach. It gives us an opportunity to really be careful on how we start our school safely, because that is a major goal for us, if not the number one goal for us, is to provide a safe learning environment for our students. So that's the review of that. I'm going to check our if there's any questions on this part of it before I move on. What are the hours on Friday? So Friday will be a half day. It'll be that 8 to 12 where teachers will have office hours. They may have an assignment for their students to get on. That communication will be coming from the teacher, but we'll do that half day for check-ins from 8 to noon. Will students have online assignments during week 1 for the days other than their orientation day? So yes, there will be online assignments for them to work on. So if you're a Monday, Wednesday family, there will be assignments on that Tuesday, Thursday. Again, your teachers will be emailing you what that will look like. I know the middle school, because that first week, the Tuesday kids will not have had instruction. So what are those Tuesday B students doing? They'll be communicating out with you. It may look like they've got that Tuesday off, but they'll have assignments on Friday.
They're wondering about next week.
For orientation?
Week. Yes. Are there going to be assignments on?
Oh, no.
orientation?
I'm sorry. It's for orientation week starting on Monday. They won't have online assignments. This is a get to know the teacher. Some teachers may be performing some assessments on the Chromebooks for orientation, but they will not have an assignment during that week. As far as specials, no music, singing because of spread of coronavirus. So yes, we're being creative with our music. If we can have the students outside and spread apart with masks, we'll entertain that, if you will. But Mrs. Cooper is working really hard to create those lesson plans where they're learning music theory. There'll be instruments that she'll be able to use, and keeping the singing to a minimum. And if it happens, then it would be very spread apart. For right now, the tentative date for the first Mass is September 2nd, that Wednesday, September 2nd. And we will communicate with you whether that is a go or not. Week 3, will the kids at home need a camera on their computer?
Preferably.
Preferably, yes. And our Chromebooks do have cameras on them. Awesome question about supplies on orientation day. So what supplies are going to look like? And I'll get into that drop off and pickup routine in just a minute. But yes, bring your supplies on orientation day, and we will have tables. Parents on this orientation day, because each class is going to bring between 3 and 6 students in. If you would like to walk your student to the playground, of course with masks on, and have their supplies, we will have tables set up so we can set all of their supplies on a designated table. And then we will bring the supplies into the building, and I'll get more into that in a little bit, but we won't be having parents in the building on those days. Mass will be on Wednesday. That's our normally scheduled time. Yes, the students at home won't be receiving communion, correct? How will Friday be online if Chromebooks are staying at school? Again, if you do not have access to a computer for your child to use, then they will be able to bring the Chromebook home. I really just am trying to limit having 300 go home, and again, that risk of having them broke, I'm going to have a hard time replacing them. Yes, Mass, what if the kids are attending on Tuesday, Thursday? Yes, that first Mass, yes, they would be asked to log in online. And then the following week is our first week back. So we will all be here. And again, a percentage of the students will be at Mass while the rest are here at school. All right. If your child will be at school on September 2nd, do they need to wear mask clothes? Yes, please. Mask dress on Wednesdays. So for orientation days, the students are meeting outside in the playground at 8 a.m. So you can start arriving at 7:45. We have zoned our playground off, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. I've zoned our playground off, so there'll be sections for kids to stay. We're trying to keep the kids in cohorts as much as possible. Yes, outdoor lunch is an option, weather permitting. Yes, that is an option. We really want to use our outdoor space to maximum capacity. Should we send a snack with our kids next week for orientation? Yes, that would be a good idea. Do we need to sign up for aftercare anywhere if we are planning to use it? No, we're going to do like we have in the past. If your child is here past 3:15, they will be checked into homework club.
Remember that there's no homework club next week.
Right, homework club is not going to start the week of orientation. It'll start that week too. So I'm gonna. What will recess and PE look like? So recess, again, we'll have zoned playgrounds, areas. So we want to keep our classes together. They'll be obviously in their homeroom class together. And then when they go outside, they'll be playing together. So we'll have them in their own sections. PE, mainly outside. Again, they'll have a section of the playground area, and they will be socially distanced. And Manny, our new PE teacher, has worked really hard to create lesson plans to keep the kids safe and engaged, so they will have plenty of room to play and to be socially distanced. So I'm going to close the chat for right now, and I'm going to move on to a couple things from the virtual town meeting. I had some questions about, well, what if somebody tests positive? What if a student tests positive? What if a parent tests positive? What if a teacher tests positive? And so I really want to go over some of those scenarios. And I'm going to start by saying that each situation is going to be very different. And it really is going to depend on the contact, the close contact, and figuring out the exposure to COVID. So the CDC has provided some guidance for us on if there is an exposure. It's a flow chart. If this, then what? And so there's one specifically for students, and this one is for faculty and for parents as well. And so you can see on this flow chart here, you ask yourself, do I have any of these symptoms? And then no, I don't have this. I don't have any of these symptoms. So this is the check-in. Have you been in contact with somebody who has been diagnosed with or tested positive for COVID? If the answer is yes, was it direct physical contact or close contact? This box right here, we're going to hear this a lot. This close contact is very important to us in determining what our next steps are. So what is meant by close contact means that you were in contact with somebody for less than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. So when COVID started and the regulations or guidelines came out about social distancing, I'd go to the grocery store and I'd have my masks on, and somebody would pass me and they'd almost touch my cart, and I would panic going, oh my goodness, they were less than 6 feet apart. You know, they're not socially distancing. That's not considered a close contact. We are going to have, you know, kids passing each other in the hall. And when you come to pick your kids up at the end of the day, they will have their masks on and they may be standing less than 6 feet from each other. We're going to try really hard to keep them separated, but it's not going to be for more than 15 minutes. So that's a real key guideline for us as we're monitoring students. And really, if we have a case, then really being able to say how many close contacts were there. The last guidelines I looked at were, you know, if there were more than 10 close contacts, then you may have to close your school or close that classroom, make that classroom remote for 2 to 5 days. There's a whole flow chart that goes with those decisions. But coming back to the flow chart, so I don't have any symptoms. I may have been in contact with somebody who tested positive or has been diagnosed. If yes, there was direct physical contact, you need to quarantine for 14 days. If yes, but no close contact, you were outside of 6 feet of the person for a brief period of time, then you just keep continuing the 3 W's that BK likes to talk about. You know, watch your distance, wear your mask, and wash your hands. And so coming down to the no, I haven't been in contact with anybody who's tested positive, then continue to practice that safe distancing and good hygiene. If you come over to this side of the flow chart, yes, I have symptoms. This website here, this link right here has a lot further detail on what those guidelines are, but you would need, yes, I have symptoms, you need to stay at home and separate yourself from others and call your healthcare provider, and please let the school know. So again, this is one of the flow charts that we've been given to follow, and each situation will be very different. And so we have to handle that on a case-by-case basis. I got that question a lot. If one person has COVID, does the whole school have to close for 14 days? And no, we don't. So this is the illness decision tree for students. And again, we look at these symptoms. Yes, I have symptoms, and we can go through that flow chart, and it guides us through this. We have a contact with Gina Pinnell. She's the director of the Central District Health, and we have our school nurses. So we will work, you know, in conjunction with them to make the best decision on what to do if these situations arise. I wish there was just one answer. If this happens, yep, this is exactly what we're going to do. But that's just not the case, because each case will be different for sure. I'm going to, let's see, my next slide. This gets into more school things, which got me excited last night. So let me look at my chat and see if we've got some questions regarding what we just went over. Let's see, what did I do?
You closed your
Share screen? Okay. How will children attending mass be chosen? We won't be doing the buddies to start the year off. We usually had 8th grade with kindergarten, and 4th grade was with preschool. So what I'm thinking right now is at the beginning, we usually have our older students, they host the mass. So we'll probably have our older students go. And so we may do the 6 through 8 go one week, and then 3 through 5 go the next week, and then preschool through 2nd grade go the next week. So we're still working on the details of that. Maybe ask, oh, can snacks be peanut and nut free? Yes, for orientation week, that's a great idea, and you will be notified again by your teacher if the classroom is a nut-free classroom. Let's see. Yes, the masks are definitely, somebody made a comment about the 15 minutes, the physical contact for at least 15 minutes applies to only when they're not wearing a mask. The mask does make a big difference in that decision as well. So that close contact, when I've spoken with Central District Health, they're saying the close contact, they're saying right now, even with a mask, if it's 15 and you're less than 6 feet. And they also say that, it used to be 3 to 6 feet, and now they're promoting the 6 feet, and that's what we're going to try to maintain for sure. I think
we've got them all.
do we need to, oh, yep, I think we got them all. Awesome. So let me share my screen again because that went away. Now I get to talk just some regular school stuff, which is exciting for me. Student information system, we are still using Reddiker software. We have 24/7 access to that. We'll post report cards and progress reports and grades. In the student portfolio, you'll find the report cards and the progress reports. We are still using Admin plus Notify, so it's super important we have your correct phone numbers, and those are the text messages that we can push out in cases of emergency as another way to communicate quickly. But we would also, post on our website and post in Friday Facts as well, or send an email out if it's an emergency. That Plus Portals is where we log into to see our students' information. So you should have your log-on and password for that. If you don't, you can email the office and they will get you that information. Assessments, I just want to touch on real briefly. We continue to do the same assessments we always have. Like I said, some teachers will be doing assessments right from the start at orientation, just a quick benchmark of where the students are. MAPS testing, our goal is to start that as soon as possible. We have a lot of new families coming in. We weren't able to do MAPS testing in the spring, so we really want to see where our students' strengths and needs are. So that week of September 15th is our goal for starting MAPS testing. There is an option to take MAPS testing at home if we are in a situation like that. That is not optimal, but any data, we want the data as soon as we can, because like I said, with new students coming in and with fourth quarter being like it was, we really want to gauge the needs of our students as soon as possible. Our reading specialist, Carol Sheridan, retired last year, and Melissa Brady has been here for 5 years and has taught at other schools as well, in the public school and at Sacred Heart. Her master's is in reading, and so she is now our reading specialist and a part-time 6th grade teacher. So we're excited to have her on board. Our Child First team met today for a couple hours to get the year started. Dr. Joe is still here, and Miss Jen is still with us as well. So parking lot routines, this will look familiar. There are a few changes, so I want to go over those so you know what to expect. General parking lot routines is please don't leave your car unattended when picking up your child from the pickup lines or dropping off. That is the flow of our traffic, and we need to keep that flow going. If you have to leave your car, please park it in the parking lot and then cross at the crosswalk. Please don't let your pets out of the vehicle, and please don't park in front of the school between 7:30 and 8:10 and 2:45 and 3:10. The cutout spaces where we park our bus on the Northview side of the school, those are for our auction winners. So those are not parking spots or drop off or pickup. So here's our parking lot map. Really, this does not change for our returning families at all for our drop off. For the start, for when we bring our students back in the phased approach, and for until further notice, when we drop off, kindergarten through 8th is going to come through this door and onto the playground, and preschool will be able to enter here. Down here, temperature checks. I want to take just a minute to talk about temperature checks. When we rolled out the fall reopening plan, yes, we have at least 8 thermometers to do temperature checks, and that was the guidelines. The guidelines are shifting on that right now to not doing temperature checks because they're proving not to be an efficient way to test or to see if a student has coronavirus. It's not the first symptoms that are showing up. And so the folks that have been doing those temperature checks, they're not seeing that it's preventing or helping the situation. I'm following that pretty closely. The latest that I've heard from Central District Health is that it's a choice whether you do it. They're not recommending it. I want to try it. I want to see if we can be efficient at taking temperature checks and gather our own data to see if it's helping prevent students from coming to school. But really would love to move to the parent checklist that you're just checking your children every morning and not bringing them to school if they have any of those symptoms. So we are even at orientation, we will meet you at your car. We will take a quick temperature, put a sticker on your child's hand or their shirt collar, so we know that they've been screened. And then again, we'll collect that data and we'll look at it and see if this is a good use of our resources to do that. My guess is we'll be moving to more of a daily home screening for students. So check for these symptoms, and we'll post this on our website for parents to help make those decisions. But we are definitely partners in this, and what we do today is really determining whether we open and we can stay open. So we all have to be in this together and practice those 3 W's. So morning routines. You may begin dropping students off at 7:30 starting on week 2, not during orientation. We're asking to start at 7:45. But so that week 2 at 7:30, you'll be asked to remain in your vehicles or bring to the door or to the gate to the playground. We're not having parents come into the building. Students will be in the auditorium at 6 feet apart until 7:45, and then the students will enter the playground. And again, we'll be testing, taking temperatures before students enter the building. The pickup routine, all teachers are going to be coming out with their students to help keep that social distance. It's important you remain in your vehicle. We will bring your children to you. And every effort, we've talked to the teachers about this, to have students outside at 3 o'clock so we don't have a bottleneck. I know that our parking lot can be a nightmare at times and frustrating. Patience is definitely key. And if you have a mindset that it's probably going to take me between 5 and 10 minutes to pick up my children, then you plan for that, because it does get to be a bottleneck, and we want to make sure we do that safely. Pickup routines, this is going to be different for you. One of the projects we did this summer was to take this privacy fence out because what was happening is all the students were dismissed. We had the gate open here. We couldn't see any of the cars here. So there was a big bottleneck, students peeking around, trying to find their parents. And so in an effort to make this safer, this fence came down. So we'll still have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade pickup, but there'll be, you know, the 8th graders standing here, they'll be spread out, and we can use this whole space to spread our students out. And we'll have very easy visibility for students to be able to see their parents and come pick them up. This is a change. Kindergarten through 1st grade will be standing here for pickup. The 1-2 combo in 2nd grade will be standing here. 3rd and 4th will be here. And 5th grade will be on the island. We are making a special lane right here. If you only have a 5th grade student, you can pull up right here and pick your child up. This is the waiting line for middle school pickup. And again, please stay in your vehicle. Right now for preschool, we're having, you know, again, if you have to come pick your child up, these parking spots will be available so you can park. Please have a mask on when you come this way to pick up your children, but please do not leave your vehicles here to go and get your children. For right now, preschool can come to the door to pick up their students. We are looking at this space right here for preschool to come out. So we don't have the traffic coming in and out of the building, but we will notify you if that changes. But for orientation and for that first AB week for preschool, they'll be here. They don't have AB days the 2nd week. They will be picking up here at the door. Again, I talked about masks. We'll be doing that in person and virtually each Wednesday, and we're going to tentatively start that on this September 2nd. So back to school night. It was originally scheduled for September 8th. That's our first day back with our entire student body. So we are going to reschedule that for a later date in September. I'm thinking either the 15th or the 22nd. They will be Zoom meetings from your child or children's teachers. So we'll have 2 sessions offered just like we did last year. We had live, when we were here in person, we had 2 sessions from the teachers. So there'll be 2 Zoom live offerings. And one of those sessions will be recorded and posted for families with more than 2 siblings. I know there was always that dilemma. If there were 3 or more students, it was a divide and conquer, and one parent go to one teacher and the other go to the other teacher. We'll offer those 2 live sessions and record them and post them, so you won't miss any if you have more than 2 siblings. The first session is going to have a video presentation. Father Ben will start us off, and I'll have some slides to go over. We'll get introduced to our amazing Home and School Association and our very dedicated and new school board. I'm excited about that, and our Education Foundation. So that'll be a recorded video presentation for the first session. And then the teachers will go into talking about what to expect from their classes this year. Communications are the same. Please read Friday Facts, especially during this time. There's always going to be updates and adjustments, and that's part of our call this year, is to be flexible and adaptable, and the way we can help with that process is to really stay connected through Friday Facts. You can email me. Our website and our Facebook page is going to be important. Briefly want to talk about volunteer hours. We have the 24-hour volunteer hour commitment, but we're not having parents in the building right now, so it's going to be hard to achieve that until we're in a situation where that can be allowed. So that is not set in stone 24 hours. If we can't have parents in the building until December, then it'll be a 12-hour requirement. 6 hours towards the dinner auction. which is scheduled for September 19th and very shortly. Jessica Duraco is going to talk to us about that dinner auction. For volunteer hours this year, we're going to post a template under forms on our website, and you can maintain the log at home, and then you can submit them either electronically or bring them to the office and at the end of each quarter. And I like to send home updates each quarter to let you know how many hours have been completed. Remember, any family member can record hours. Safe environment workshops, if you want to volunteer, you have to have safe environment. Many of you already have your certification, so you just have to do your yearly online class. If you need an in-person one, right now we're going to offer those through Zoom or an online option. And so you check Friday Facts for the dates on those. So our uniform supplier and our dress code right now, our uniform supplier is Educational Outfitters. They're on Americana Boulevard. They have our uniform options and spirit wear and an online option. And we are working on another supplier to give another option for our parents to get embroidery done, and just having another location for you and another option for that spirit wear. So we're working on that to give you more choices. I like to go over some common dress code issues as we come back. Remember, our socks are solid colors, and our shoes are predominantly a solid color: white, navy, black, or brown. And we don't want no neon, sparkles, wheels, or light up shoes. Hair, no hair dye, and for boys it's above the collar and the ears, and for everybody, hair above the eyebrows. Mass dress, they can wear, the boys have to wear a tie, either our school plaid or a navy tie, and we have some of those available in the office. And we're all wearing white button-up shirts, and no shorts or hoodies allowed on mass days. So again, our masses are going to be on Wednesday, and if they're in school, then they're in mass dress. I am going to, Jessica, can you unmute? We're going to talk briefly about the auction. I believe Jessica is on.
I am on. Can you hear me?
Yes, awesome.
Awesome. Perfect. Sorry. CG said unmute. I was like panicking. Wait, why is it not doing that? All right. So it's supposed to be playing some really cool music. I don't know why it's not, but it's supposed to. So imagine that it's playing Mission Impossible. So we are going to be getting ready to we've kicked off the dinner auction with a 300 by 300. The theme this year, in case you haven't seen it yet, is Mission Possible. And with this, everything is possible. We're going to make this happen. What is the dinner auction? This is the frequently asked questions. So for some of you guys, this may be old hat. You've seen it all. We went over this last night as well with the new families. So I'll kind of try to breeze through it as quickly as possible. The dinner auction is the school's largest fundraiser of the year, raising funds for enrichment programs, curriculum resources, science and technology needs, facility improvement, and other operating expenses. With all of these, you can see that the dinner auction is incredibly important to the function of our school and to making sure that we provide the best possible education for all of our children. So with that, when is the dinner auction? The dinner auction is scheduled for Saturday, September 19th at 5 o'clock. September 10th is currently our go, no-go date. Some of the parents have asked, like, at what point will you decide 100% yay or nay? That is the date that we're still going to push for a go. We're going to keep pushing for a go. And we're going to keep hoping that the numbers get better and our colors change, and we're just going to keep right on going right up until the 10th. If we don't have an auction on the 10th, we get to the point on the 10th where it is a no-go, they're not going to let us get together in person, we're not going to be able to do our big community event, then we will try to do what's called a pivot. We'll pivot to a virtual event. That is definitely not our preference. We want to have that community bonding between us, the parish, the schools. We want everyone to be together. Who attends the dinner auction? Parents, parishioners, faculty, grandparents, alumni, friends of the Catholic community, we want everyone there. We want everyone to feel like they're invited and that they're welcome. This isn't something that's specific to anyone or any specific group. Where is the dinner auction? So the dinner auction this year is someplace a little bit different. I asked, go online, take a look. It's at Barber Park Education and Event Center. Kind of put the date there. There'll be indoor and outdoor seating available. It is a beautiful location if you haven't been out to Barber Park, or if you have been out to Barber Park for launching, for floating the river. They actually have built a very pretty, it's used for weddings. This, we're not like, we didn't pick kind of a cheesy place. It really is very pretty. I always worry, and people are like, where I launch at Barber Park to float the river. No, it's a beautiful location. Take a look. It is fantastic. What do I wear to the dinner auction? The attire, the theme we're going for is the spy wear, spy gear, James Bond, Ethan Hunt feel. Of course, everybody does their play on that, right? So if you wanted to be Inspector Gadget or, anything like that, like it's all open, of course, just same as every other year. So, but again, lots of people tend to get dressed up for the dinner auction. Next page, please. Okay, what does the evening look like? The doors will open at 5 o'clock with silent auction, drinks, and socializing. A blessing will be prayed and salads will be served. The dinner should start around 7. The dinner is going to come to us from Open Table Catering. The live auction will kick off around 7:30 and the evening will conclude about 10. So this year, there's a couple things that had to be different. There won't be a dance this year, but we will still be able to hopefully do everything else. So we'll have time for outdoor socializing. Plenty of space for social distancing and hopefully just get together as a community. And what is the difference between the silent and the live auctions? So the silent auction will refer to all of the gift baskets and the gift packages that are out on the tables. Everything will be done for that through mobile bidding. And we started with mobile bidding last year. So if you were there and you remember that you bid on your phone or your tablet, we're going to continue that into this year. This also allows us less having to touch same pens and papers, leaning over each other, trying to bid that last person. You can now do that from your mobile device. And the live is where the auctioneer is bidding the items. Okay, they're calling number 120, 125, $5 more, $50 more. How do I purchase a ticket? So the ticket purchases will go on sale on August 21st at 9 o'clock. So that should be the end of the first week of school. We'll send home a reminder with the kids Wednesday, Thursday, but we all know how that sometimes goes. It'll also be posted on the Facebook, and we've asked Rena to include it in the Friday Facts. So hopefully lots of people will get a reminder that the tickets will go on sale Friday the 21st. Due to COVID, there is a limited number of tickets that are being sold. So in years past, we've tried to get as many people as we can. You want to make this as big as possible. At this point, our maximum number is 250. So we're kind of capping at that point, but we still have about 100 tickets, I think, still available. So plenty of tickets to get out there and get sold. How do I sit with my family and friends? So this year we will not be selling. This is specific to our returning families. In years past, you bought a table and you could buy a table with your family and friends, and that made it a lot easier. This year, due to social distancing and us not knowing exactly how far they're going to want everything to be and how the layout's going to be, we are taking preferences. So if you wanted to sit next to somebody, they put their name, in the comment. They put your name in the comment field. You put their name in the comment field, and we'll do our best to make all the accommodations that we can. But we aren't selling whole tables because we can't guarantee how many will fit at a table. So because we don't know if, this circular we can fit 4, but this circular we can fit 6. This, just depending on the tables and that kind of thing, and they're different size tables. We can't make those guarantees. So if you put the seating preference in the comments, we will do our best to match everybody up that way. How can I sign up to help for the dinner auction? The Sign Up Genius is already up and running. It has been out for, I'd say probably about 6 weeks now. Feel free to take a look. My email and phone number, Carmen's email and phone number are both on the front of that Sign Up Genius as well. So if you see a job out there and you're like, you know what, I'd like more information about that, text us, call us, email us. All of our data, all of our information is out there. If you see a job and you're like, oh, I want to do that one, and you know what it is already, no questions asked, you just sign up directly into the Sign Up Genius. All right. And Carmen and I are both your auction chairs for the year. So if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything that you'd like to ask or double check, please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help. We're here to, help the school and make sure everybody has the best time possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. These ladies have been working for months and months and months and trying to plan for every possible scenario. And it is a full-time job for sure. And I am so grateful for their efforts and appreciate the need to be together as a community. And again, their decision date will be that September 10th, whether we move forward with the live or we go to something virtual. In working with Central District Health, they're very good at communicating with us, and they definitely look at trends. So we should have data the week prior on those trends to help us make the best decision. Let's see, the next slide here, and then I'm going to get to some more chats. Oh, I want to thank you so much for choosing St. Mark's, for your patience. I know, and I appreciate how stressful this time is, and trying to plan for your family and not knowing and things changing. I appreciate you very much, and I'm super excited for Monday for sure. I want to take a quick opportunity to not only thank you for choosing St. Mark's and to continue to be part of our community. We had some families that spent a lot of time at the school this summer, in addition to our auction chairs, that volunteered a lot of time. I'm sure they got way more than the 24 hours, but Tony Finfrock and Max Barella, the Martin family, the Chilton family, the Green family, the Anderson family, Margaret Scott, that's a new family, and we even had some St. Mark's alum here, students, former students that helped move furniture. And it does take a community, it takes a village, and I am so blessed to be part of this village, and I thank you for your support. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go to the chat section and see if we've got some more questions. Here we go. All right. Yes, for the question about aftercare, will parents still come in to pick up their kiddos and sign out? That door by the old entrance to the church where the doorbell is, you'll ring the doorbell and we will bring your child to you in a clipboard for you to sign them out. Good question. What factors will determine whether everybody goes back in person in 2 weeks? Well, on September 8th, we are ready. We are ready to be open. And so we've taken a lot of precautions. All of our room ionizers have been installed, our plasma ionizers, our sanitation protocols, our social distancing. We're really ready to have you back on the 8th. What would change that is if there was a huge increase, the trending data didn't look good, if we were mandated that all schools have to close, that would change that. But I know we are in a red category. We know it's important to get our students back in the building, and we believe we have a plan to make our students as safe as possible. Yes, you can bring supplies back on orientation day if you want to walk out onto the playground with your mask on and help them with their supplies. Yes, you may do that. Moss, thank you, Kathy, for asking that question. Probably beginning of July, I got an email from the folks at Moss, Sasha, and they had a couple options for Moss. They said with their cabins, and in order to socially distance, they can take no more than 30 students. We happen to have exactly 36 graders. So at that time, it was an option. I emailed them again this week and said, is it still an option? If yes, can we have a spring date? And the response I got was they're still working out the details of their program. Their other options were to come to our school and offer some sessions at our school. So once I get word on their plans, I will definitely communicate that out. I will post the slides. I will make the slide deck available along with the video. After tonight's meeting, I'll post that on the website. If parents can't come into the classroom, how do we coordinate the class auction projects? Great question. Can we work on them outdoors in small groups when we need student participation? Yes, I've talked to the teachers about the auction project, and because we've moved up the date, we understand that we need our auction projects to be completed. And so yes, we will have tables set up outside in the front of the building where we can bring the students to you to work on those projects. And the teacher, the auction moms or dads, the project folks will need to connect with the classroom teacher to set up a best time to do that. Let's see. Yes, kindergarten students wear the button-up white shirts on mass dress days. Let's see. Oh, when will advanced orchestra begin? So this year, music has been a bit of a challenge because BK is doing the AB scheduling. So Miss Cooper, we are doing advanced orchestra. Those days will be the same. Advanced choir, or the choir that she does, will now be moved to the morning instead of the afternoon to accommodate her schedule. And we're hoping to start that advanced choir and the orchestra during that week 3, but we need to keep you posted on that. I know that creates an issue for parents if choir or orchestra is on a Tuesday, Thursday, and your day is a Monday, Wednesday. That creates a problem. So we may have to decide to start that on September 8th when we're all back. Are we signing preschools in or dropping off at the office? So for orientation, please come in. You'll be allowed to come to the door of the preschool to sign them in, take a peek in the classroom, and then head back out. Again, we ask you wear masks as you come in. As we progress, so preschool will begin, you'll have your normal schedule starting that week 2. We're talking about greeting you at the door outside so you can bring them to the door and we can escort them in from the door. Yes, spirit wear for orientation week. Please wear some St. Mark's spirit wear, and jeans are fine for that half day.
I have a question about lunch volunteers.
Oh, thank you for asking about lunch volunteers. Because we are changing our lunch program to deliver the lunches to the classroom, we are really needing lunch volunteers to help not only prep them and place them in disposable containers. Everything will be disposable for the students. We need about 3 steady volunteers that can help with that process, starting at about 10:30 until, I think Alan yesterday said till 12:30, possibly, but we're definitely looking for some consistent volunteers to help us execute that so we can feed our students in an efficient way and they can get out on the playground and have some free time out on the playground.
Did you see Lisa's comment about orchestra?
Oh, orchestra and choir always start after Labor Day. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I'm so glad you're on. I think I'm. Wow. I'm just. I think I have most of the questions. I'm saving this. I'll go back through. If I didn't get to your question, I will email you. If there aren't any questions, I'm gonna let you go and enjoy your Friday and your weekend. Again, thank you so much for choosing to send your kids to St. Mark's. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing their smiling faces. I wish I could hug them all, but I will be hugging them in spirit and having a big smile on underneath my mask because I'm very excited to see everyone. Thank you for your time. We'll get this posted and please reach out if you have questions for me. God bless. Have a good night.